I'm Rachel Muth.
And I'm Jo Ingleby, and we're from the Vegetarian Cookery School in Bath.
And we're going to teach you to make delicious vegetarian food from our cookery school.
I'm going to make fresh pasta dough, which is something that's very simple to make. You can do it with very, very basic ingredients. The important thing is to have 00 grade pasta flour, and the better quality you buy, the nicer your pasta will be. You need 100 grams of flour per person, so I'm going to make enough here for one person, and I'm going to make it directly onto the table, which is the traditional way of making pasta. If you don't like mess, you can do it in a bowl. I quite like mess. Making a hole in the middle, called a well. You crack one egg into the middle. Okay, and then break the yolk with a finger and just gently start to incorporate the egg and the flour. This way of making pasta lets you work out whether you've got enough egg or too much, and you can adjust the flour and maybe add a little bit of olive oil if it just feels a bit too dry. By doing it on the table, it's basically ready when all of the bits of flour have incorporated into the dough. You can see the dough is starting to come together. And I'm going to add some salt, and it's really important that you put some salt into pasta. We like to use fine salt so that it blends easily into the pasta dough. Crispy salt tends to be a little bit too chunky for pasta. And I'm bringing up all the dough together with my hand, and I'm trying to get all of the dough from the table at the same time. So by the time I've kneaded this, all of these bits of flour and bits of dough will have come together. And I'm going to knead this for about 5 minutes using both hands. And this is bringing together all the gluten in the pasta and just stretching the gluten particles. As you knead, use the heel of your hand and just work the pasta dough around. So you're aiming to knead the dough until it feels really soft and elastic and nice and springy. So a good way of testing most doughs, and this includes bread dough, is if you just let it rest in a ball, touch the top, and it should spring back again.
I've got my fresh pasta here, my balls of fresh pasta we made earlier. And the most important thing is to use semolina when you're rolling your pasta. You don't want to use plain flour, but semolina flour. I'm just going to sprinkle the semolina flour all over my table and into the pasta machine as well. The reason for using semolina flour is to stop the pasta sticking to the table or the pasta machine. My pasta machine, I've got it on the widest setting, and that on this pasta machine is either a 0 or a 1, and that's the biggest gap. I'll get my pasta and I'll just roll it in a little bit of semolina. And then I'm just going to pat it down, and I'm going to make it into a shape with a bit of a point on it so that it easily goes into the pasta maker. I'm aiming to put it through on the widest setting about 10 times. Then I will reduce the setting and put it through just once on each of the following settings. So this is the first time through. So I'm going to put it through once, and then I'm going to fold it. So I've folded it like that, and then I'm just going to pop it through again. And I'm going to keep on folding it. Okay, I've now folded it about 10 times, and I'm going to reduce the setting to number 2. And I don't fold it anymore, I just put it through once on each of the settings. Now we're on to the thinnest of the settings, and I'm just going to feed it through. So this is the thinnest setting. With this pasta, you could now make ravioli, you could make it into lasagna, or you could make it into tagliatelle or any shapes you like. So it's lovely and thin and ready to use.